Hey, what's going on everyone? Vasco here and welcome back to the channel. And the Formula 1 season is now in its summer break, so now it's a perfect time for us to take a look back at everything that happened during the season and see how things are panning out. So in this video I'm going to give you my standout driver, standout team, standout car, and the team that needs the most improvement, and I'm going to do each category in under 2 minutes. Let's do this. Okay, so let's start the clock, and my standout driver, and this should be no competition really, it's George Russell. So George Russell, as you know, in his first year in the Mercedes has been displaying some amazing results. So he currently stands above Carlos Sainz in the standings, and Carlos Sainz is in a much faster Ferrari. Now, not only did George Russell experience the worst Mercedes of the last few years with a car that was getting knocked out in Q1 in the first race of the season, but he managed to extract the most out of his car and really prove his talent by getting a top 5 finish at every single race that he has finished, and that includes a lot of podiums with the best result of P3. Now, the only race that George Russell didn't finish was the one where he crashed with Zhou Guanyu, and even then he could have finished that race had he not gone outside of the car and running towards Zhou to help him, which was a very noble thing to do, and I think that George Russell has the best start to his Mercedes career that he could hope for, and this is why he's my standout driver. Okay, and now let's reset the clock because my standout team of the season is Alpine. So I know that it's a weird choice given the recent controversy, but they are currently the best of the rest ahead of a very strong McLaren, and they have a solid car that seems to be able to handle all kinds of circuits. So whereas the McLaren seems to have weaknesses in some kinds of circuits and has had a lot of weird braking issues, Alpine seems to be on it. So they seem to have a car that really seems suited to all kinds of issues, and they seem to be making very good decisions when it comes to car development, bringing a massive upgrade package with the side pods. That it's a direction that McLaren pretty much copied, and it brought a third concept to the grids. So before Alpine's upgrade, all the teams were either running Ferrari's in-wash concept, Red Bull's down-wash concept, or Mercedes zero-pod concept in Mercedes and Williams, but now Alpine introduced a brand new concept that's kind of in between Red Bull and Ferrari, and it's a concept that seems to be working so well that McLaren seems to be copying it. Now, I know that the driver market has been kind of crazy around Alpine, but I'm not including that kind of discussion because after all, I'm talking about the 2022 season so far and not the 2023 or 2024 season driver market. So for this, I think that Alpine is my standout team. Now, a close second was Red Bull because Red Bull was a team that last year was so good that everyone was saying that they were going to use all of their development resources in 2021 and not have any for 22, but now they are winning everything. But the fact that Alpine was a team that I think gained the most from the regulations, so last year they were fighting for points but on the lower half, and now they are always on the top half of the points, I think makes them my standout team for the season. But at the end of the day, I think that Alpine is doing a very good job, and I want these awards to include all teams on the grid and not just the top 3, so that's why at the end of the day Alpine is my standout team. Okay, and for my standout car there's really only 2 possible choices, which are either the Red Bull RB18 or the Ferrari F175, but if you take a look at the standings, you really got to give it to the Red Bull RB18. So Red Bull has developed a car that's super streamlined and seems to suit every type of circuit while fixing some of the previous year's Red Bull's deficits when it comes to straight line speed, being now the faster car on a straight line. Now, they aren't as good as Ferrari in high speed corners, but they seem to have such an advantage in the straight lines that kind of makes up for it, and they have a super reliable car. So Red Bull has had a few DNF, but mostly concentrated in the beginning of the season, whereas Ferrari seems to be all over the place. And as Formula 1 wisdom says, in order to finish first you have to finish, and that is just what Red Bull is doing. They are converting races that should be easy wins for Ferraris into Red Bull 1-2s, and that's in big part due to the car. So even though Red Bull hasn't a car with the greatest downforce level, that's the Ferrari, Red Bull has a very strong platform from which they are able to develop and bring massive floor and sidepod upgrades. But right now Red Bull has a rock solid car that seems to be able to win pretty much every race it finishes, and it's a car that has a very good development trajectory ahead of it. And that is why the Red Bull RB18 is my standout car of the season. Okay, so for this last category I may actually run out of time, but in my opinion the team that needs the most improvement it's Ferrari by far. So this is not a surprise given all the points that they have thrown away and the fact that they are making so many operational mistakes. So I've got the list right here of everything I think Ferrari needs to improve, and honestly I don't see them as title contenders anymore. I think that they need to be afraid of the threat that Mercedes is going to pose once the new floor regulations start in Spa. Okay, so let me start by listing a few of the things that Ferrari needs to improve. So car reliability is a massive problem that is costing them both championships. Now in my opinion they have the best overall car when it comes to aerodynamics and when it comes to suspension, but the fact that the engine reliability is so bad is honestly costing them both championships. And if you don't agree with me, just take a look at the numbers. So when it comes to operational mistakes and errors, Charles Leclerc has lost a massive 71 points, but in total, only in reliability, he has lost 65 points. Now, when you put this into perspective that he now has an 80-point gap to Verstappen, well, without these mistakes and reliability issues, Charles Leclerc could be well over 300 points and way clear of Verstappen. It's amazing how many points Verstappen is actually winning to Leclerc when Leclerc should be comfortably leading the championship, and most of this is due to Ferrari's mistakes. And Charles Leclerc, of course, is a part of Ferrari, and that's why he is included in this list. Now, once again, car reliability is a massive problem, but strategic mistakes are present in almost every single race situation. So be it tire changes, be it mixed weather racing, be it qualifying strategy, operational mistakes and strategic mistakes kind of creep in every single time, and this is something that really needs to change, because this kind of forces the drivers to make decisions from the cockpit, whereas Mercedes and Red Bull drivers can really trust their team to nail the strategy. I think that Leclerc just goes too much with the flow, and he really needs to start telling the team what they think they should do, because even in decisions like the Hungarian Grand Prix, when they set for him to pit for hards, or in Silverstone when they told him not to pit for the safety car, I think that he really should challenge the team decisions in those aspects. So these are all things that are costing them the championships. So both the fact that their drivers are crashing and are losing a lot of points due to crashing, so Leclerc in France and Imola, and then Sainz also in Imola and then in Australia, cost them a lot of points, but at the end of the day, it's Ferrari's strategic and Ferrari's reliability issues that are costing them both championships. And I'm honestly very worried for them, because once the regulation changes come in Spa, I think that Mercedes is going to step up their game and begin scoring a lot more podiums and race wins. And if you take a look at Leclerc's season, he has less podiums than Hamilton. So Ferrari really needs to step up their game if they are going to keep that second place finish. And I'm honestly sad to see them throw a championship that could easily be theirs out of the window. And this is why Ferrari is the team that I think needs to improve the most. Okay, and now it's your turn to let me know in the comments down below who you think fits the best for each of these 4 categories. So Standout Driver, Standout Team, Standout Car, and then the team that needs to improve the most. And let me know in the comments down below who you think each one of those are for you. And I'll be replying to every comment in this video in order for us to have a little nice discussion. Now, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video and that you guys are enjoying your summer break. And if you guys did, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Now, I'll see you next week with more Formula 1 content, but until then, you can check out my latest video right here or my latest live stream right here, and I'll see you next week with another video. Goodbye!